Live on Facebook.
Hey Chase.
Get us going on Instagram.
Chase,
here.
come over here, and then we'll head that way.
I'll be right there, Justin. But I think we got somebody. Our special guest. He might be sleeping on the job.
He's checking out the coil spring mattresses that we're going into business selling here shortly.
I don't know if we're going to be meeting with UTV guide or Lazy Boy guide yet today.
I don't know either. But today is Tech Tuesday, and we have a kind of a really cool show for you guys because we've got a special guest that I will introduce shortly. You guys caught him taking a nap after we were testing, that's for sure.
Carl,
so we're going to walk around the shop and talk about a few things that are UTV related, maybe a lot of information about Can-Am because of our guest, and also a bunch of information about different riding areas and racing areas that you guys have maybe never been to. But we're just going to walk around the shop because we got a few different cars. Here, as you can see in Mitch's area, we've got a race car today that we're doing a little bit of testing work to. From time to time, we get race cars back every year, and we'll give them a little bit of a tune-up, a freshen-up, rebuild, and some other stuff. Watch out, Chase, you're going to get forked.
Oh.
Yep.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Hey, that was my line.
Oh, so by the way, we do have Tube Sock Steve with us today.
Hi.
We got Dominic in the background somewhere. He'll chime in if something fun happens. And we also have our special guest. I'm going to introduce him before you guys get to talk, I think. And his name is John Crowley. He is the owner of UTVguide.net. Possibly one of the coolest people I know, and also one of the people that has driven the most UTVs of anyone I know, and probably in most of the areas that people ride, more so than anybody else. I know that's a big introduction, but it's all true. Definitely is true. Oh, wait a second.
I don't have tube socks.
Before you talk, John, I got more for your introduction on top of that.
Wow.
He not only has raced a ton of races, including King of the Hammers, but he is also the guest commentator for all the live feeds at King of the Hammers last year. Was it not true? Was it the year before?
No, last year.
Last year.
King of the Hammers.
And I think the reason that they choose you because you know everybody.
Well,
and you know the terrain.
I know the terrain. I know all the trails, all that kind of stuff at Hammers. I've raced it, I don't know, 8-9 times, co-dog and behind the wheel. So in addition to knowing all of these areas, John has some privileged information that I'm going to try and talk him out of. I know you've got contracts and NDAs with Can-Am here and there that you may not be able to talk, but we're going to poke you about it. Yeah, you can.
And whether we get it out of you or not.
Well, yeah.
What do we have behind you, Chase? I see we have Tube Sock Steve, but behind Tube Socks, we have Stiff Socks Matt. Oh my gosh, look at Stiff Socks.
Wow.
Hey, Tube Socks.
Holy shit, I've never looked so shitty.
I think that Stiff Socks needs a mic, sir. He needs to share the mic with you. I don't know, man. I think the side to side is the best thing I've ever seen. It really is. What? Look at this. Where'd you get the socks, Matt? Amazon. Amazon.
Definitely didn't get them from Steve.
Remember, you got to have this one right here.
Amazon.
Yeah. So, well, good. I'm glad that you're involved. Stiff Socks. Yeah, he's got the pods in as well.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome.
I think he's more Steve than you, Steve.
I'm gone. Bye.
Remember,
I'm gone.
All right. Thanks. We'll come back to you guys. So back to the guest at hand. So, John. First off, I've got a really important question that you have to answer, and I would like to know exactly what is Can-Am doing with transmissions next year?
It will be a transmission.
God damn it, that didn't work. Maybe we can sneak up on him. Chase, if you ask him some questions, he might mess up.
I don't actually know that, and if I did,
come on! I know you've driven them.
No.
See, he's lying again. God,
I've driven this beauty over here.
Down. So okay, let's talk about. We'll go to something that we can go to something that maybe we can talk about. Behind you, you got Tube Socks.
Hey, Mike Dubb said, "What's the weight requirement to work there? 280."
Ouch.
Yeah, good one. I like it.
We need chunky monkeys around here. We got to do a lot of ride height.
So one of the reasons that John is in town is because he was at King of the Hammers for 4 days. Couple of days at least with Phil Burton and a couple other people.
Yeah.
You guys doing some pre-running up at King of Hammers?
Yep.
Testing?
Yeah, I typically run out there with different racers and go pre-run. I'm not racing anymore, but I go out and film and pre-run, and I know a lot of the trails, so just getting some intel, and I love to watch guys do crazy stuff at Hammers.
When do they give out the course for Hammers?
A couple days before the race.
A couple days?
Yeah.
So you're just kind of driving around and checking out every single possible trail it could be, and then we'll see where the course takes you.
And then they create a couple more trails that have never been seen before and toss them in the mix. So.
I think you said you saw some dirt bike guys in the middle of nowhere.
They were coming down the side of the hill on jackhammer, and it was insane. Dirt bikes don't belong there, but yeah, they run King of the Motos out there. During the King of the Hammers week, they do just about everything. TTs. This year they were doing a head-to-head UTVs and class 10s.
10s at Hammers?
Yes.
Two-wheel drive in boulders.
Okay, so it's a desert race.
Okay.
So, but head-to-head between those two guys, head-to-head between Class 1 and 4400, which is the unlimited rock guys. You see Shannon Campbell and those guys running those.
Big power, big front axle, big rear axle, everything.
Yeah.
40-something inch tire.
And then they'll run the TTs against themselves, and then they'll shift into all rock stuff. And then there's UTVs, there's different levels of 4x4s running, and then King of the Motos as well. It's more than a week long worth of racing.
And so your time spent out there this trip was to kind of break in a brand new car that Can-Am gave you.
Yep. So I just picked up the 2021 Smart Shox car.
So this is one of the first two-seaters out at the moment. Are they even at dealers yet?
Oh yeah, they're at dealers now. You can go pick, there's kind of a waiting list, but they're available.
And you got to spend a bunch of time in this. I know that you took the factory radius rods and turned them into high clearance pretty much immediately.
Well, this is the XRS, so it doesn't come with anything but straight radius rods. The RC comes with a higher clearance. And if you're not familiar with King of the Hammers type trails, big gigantic rocks, and it's pretty easy to pretzel a lower radius one.
Yeah, I mean, no offense or no negative to Can-Am for you dragging that radius rod over boulders that are 4 feet tall. That's just, I mean, they're not meant to do it, and you just found a way to destroy them on your own.
No, and I showed up to Hammers with 0 miles on the car and went and ran nasty trails, so I like to break them in.
What are some of the things you can tell people about this car that, they're waiting for a Smart Shox car to come out, and they don't know anything about what it's going to be, but everybody's kind of anticipating it. Can you break it down after a couple of days, what you do and what you like about the car, what it does well, and all that?
Well, the biggest news with this car for this year is the Smart Shox. So you've got a couple things. You've got the ability to adjust from comfort to sport and sport plus. That's like soft, medium, firm on it. And then, so that's manual. And then past that comes the smart part of it, where the brains are taking inputs. And the inputs from this car exceed what we've got in other cars out there that have any sort of a live type of valving.
So how do they exceed others? I know, but maybe you can tell everybody else.
Sure. The biggest piece to this is on every corner. You've got a sensor up front here. It's kind of hard to see, but attached to this arm is a sensor, and that tells you wheel position and also velocity of how fast that arm is moving up and down. You can take that input and adjust accordingly for G-outs, jumps, cornering, stopping, accelerating, all that kind of stuff, even smarter than anything else out there.
So in theory, and when I say in theory, because Can-Am isn't going to tell everybody exactly how this works, even probably yourself. They might have hinted a little bit, but I'm not sure how much you can talk about how it works, why it does what it does. But it has the ability, I guess what we've talked about earlier is it's laid the groundwork for very intelligent systems in the future. Whether this one is using all of that intelligence or speed or computational ability, we're not really sure. At least I'm not really sure. I wonder, do you know if it is? Have they told you?
Little bits and pieces, but I haven't looked at the code to figure out how that all works, and I might not even understand it if they did tell me. But the big thing for me is the groundwork's been laid on this thing to be able to be smarter in your hands here at Shock Therapy, or just in the future with more and more intelligence behind it.
So the growth potential is there because of the groundwork that's laid.
Absolutely. If you know wheel position and how that wheel is moving and how fast it's moving, you can make up all, you know that. I mean, you can explain that way better than me, but if you know all that, you could write some really cool algorithms on what to do.
I like listening to you describe it better because sometimes I get too technical and I think that I miss the point.
Well, I mean, this has the similar to Polaris. It also has a gyrometer in there that can tell you if it's in the air, if weightlessness, if it's braking, side load for turning and all that kind of stuff. But in addition, the wheel position and velocity is just gigantic. I mean, the stuff you can do and tell about what's happening to the car because of that is phenomenal.
Now, to be fair, because we don't push specific manufacturers. We just talk about what we know, what we drive, what we've seen, how we feel. The dynamic system in a Polaris, the way that I understand it, is trying to measure shaft speeds through oil pressures. And I know that it does that, but I don't know that it does it to the extent that this can. And we'll see. The guys over at Polaris can give us some more details when they're ready for us to tell everybody how that, if they want everyone to know, how's that? But in the meantime, I think that with the amount of sensors that are on this car, certainly it would be a lot easier for a guy like us to start writing some code and make some huge changes, which is kind of a little bit of a teaser to you guys that things like that are coming very soon.
Well, and the big thing for me on that is a manufacturer like Can-Am or Polaris needs to build a car that does everything for everybody, and also has to pass certain government regulations about turning and all that kind of stuff. So they have limitations.
Let me fill in the blanks. If I'm someone watching this video, and the questions we get all the time, why does it ride that way from factory if they know what they're doing? Why can it be improved by us? I mean, Can-Am's pretty smart, Polaris is pretty smart, all the manufacturers are pretty smart. So what stifles them when it comes to, say, ride quality or any of the performance stuff when they know how to do it? John, take it away.
Well, they have to satisfy the masses, and also they're handcuffed by those government regulations as well. That's the easy piece to it. What I would like to see is a car like this screams Southwest desert in the United States. Obviously, True. I'm talking. So the dunes and desert. I would love to see this car be more targeted by the manufacturer to have a Smart Shox Southwest.
Oh, that's actually a really cool idea, where maybe cars that are purchased in the Southwest are tuned for the Southwest, and cars that are purchased on the East Coast and trail are tuned for the trail.
Ding, 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 ding.
Home run. Have they not listened to you on the suggestions yet?
I don't know if I've told anybody, but that in my mind, it's fairly easy. But again, a large manufacturer, they've got to satisfy everybody across the whole world, right?
Okay.
So you got to build a car that's right for everybody.
Well, on a computer controlled Smart Shock car, that would be really easy to do, I would think. So Can-Am, if you guys are watching, then our suggestion, in our humble opinion, would be to have regionally tuned units as they're sold, or at least have the option. That would be really cool. May not be good for us as a shock tuner,
right?
But we might have shot ourselves in the foot. I doubt it. We'll still have plenty to do.
Yeah.
But I think that's really, really cool.
What would I also think would be really cool is to have the manufacturers open up that so aftermarket can get in and do their own specific type programming. I doubt manufacturers are going to want to do that, but that would be great for me as a consumer, and then I can shop around for whoever's got the greatest this or that.
So not unlike ECU tuning or reflashing for horsepower, but if I was the manufacturer, I wouldn't want any of the stuff that I'm building to make twice the horsepower it was designed to and have it blow up and have warranty issue. So I understand why they lock it down, but yeah, it would make life easy if we could get into it easier. What do you got, Chase?
You guys got everyone getting all roared up here in the comments.
Well, let's hear it.
And we're kind of all over the place.
All right, sorry.
I think we're going to start out with the triple-digit sketch. Hell yeah, change the game, money. But then we have Ethan X3RC. The Smart Shox are already looking like problems. Then we have Mike Dove saying dealers in the Valley should be tuning them for customers in the Southwest setup. And then we have E-Double54. Why does the Speed, aka Robbie Gordon UTV, think that Smart Shox aren't necessary? Boys, where are we at with all this?
Well, I mean, from my opinion, you don't have to have Smart Shox if you can target a certain type of a vehicle in a certain terrain. Where Smart Shox allows you to broaden that a little bit more and take you outside of a specific thing.
I think that's a really good point. So no matter how amazing a shock design is and the tune, it's going to work the best with one person, lightweight, in the desert in a max, if it's tuned for that. Or it's going to work the best 4 people in a max in the desert if it's tuned for that. You're not going to be able to get any shock design to cover a 1,500-pound swing in accessories or people. You're not going to get any specific shock design or tune that'll do 15-mile-an-hour slow rock crawling trails, the plushest possible setup you're ever going to want. And also go to the dunes and air it out 10 feet in the air and hit all the G-outs and not bottom it out. That's a huge swing that can only be accomplished by having a system that's computer controlled that you can turn up and down.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be targeted, like you said, John, into one specific area. Steve, what do you got?
So I got
Tube Sock Steve.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you go finish my shocks for me now? Thank you. Mike Dubs, he said, save the money and don't buy Smart Shox and go directly to shock therapy and put that extra money into a better system.
So, Dubs, let me cover that. Thank you for saying that. It's really nice of you to do that. But I've driven them as well, and I would actually disagree with you when you say don't do the Smart Shox but spend it on us. I think that you do Smart Shox and you spend it on us because there is a massive improvement to be had, especially for individual taste on how the car works. Plus, you get the adjustability of having the computer adjust it for you, and also you adjust it on the fly. So that's why why our IQS is so popular, because you can take a perfectly tuned system and go stiffer or softer for terrain. Same thing with Smart Shox. You could do the inside the way we do it on a smart system, and you just be that much better.
And then _digit_sketch said, will you or can you be able to change the algorithm when adding weight or tires on the X3 with Smart Shox?
We can dream.
That is a really, really good idea. We've never thought about that ever. So I don't know, maybe something's coming out soon I can't talk about. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And then Steve-O said, please spill the beans for 2020, guys.
2020?
2022, sorry.
2022.
2022, he wants you guys.
How about stiff socks? If you come up behind John and tackle him, I'll come from the front and we'll see if he'll answer that question.
Wow.
John?
That's a
2022.
That's a sandwich I don't want to be involved in.
Me either. 2022, spill the beans.
I can't.
Come on, man. Just something.
What's your new favorite change about the new transmission? Are you wearing a belt in the car, or are you not wearing a belt in the car?
Well, I typically don't wear a belt, but
that's John.
That's me.
That doesn't mean anything else. Oh, you have it a color. What's your favorite color for 22?
I'm digging 2021 tan, you know, a little desert tan, black, and a little red accent.
This is a hard one to crack.
2021
You know,
is pretty
I
good.
heard a rumor that they've got a 5-cylinder coming out.
5 is
Why
better
5?
than 4.
It's an odd number and sounded good to me.
Skinnier than 6.
It is smaller than 6, so there is
Faster
that.
than
You could
4.
fit it in the trailer maybe with 5 cylinders. No, nothing.
I got nothing.
God, I can't break them yet. You guys give me some hints.
Don't worry, guys. We'll try to get
Anybody
his
have
phone.
any pictures of John in compromising positions? You can send them in, and I'll try and get
Email
something.
them to us.
There's a couple of me upside down. It's happened a few times, but not very often. Okay.
Well, racing
Don't bother
happens.
sending those.
What do you got, Steve? Looks like you got something important. Or is that just a look of confusion with your doppelganger
quizzical look.
behind you?
I'm so.
I think he just doesn't know who he is right now.
Yeah, which one of you are you?
Steve, is the sweater you're wearing going to be available on the website? They should be available on the website.
Oh, they definitely are. I just think they want the specific tied at the top is what
I
they
just
want.
Don't like
The
little
bow?
danglies. I like a bow all the time. So that's just me.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah, put a bow on it.
Triple digit sketch, V or inline?
Well, so if I had my way in 2022, I think
he's talking
I
about
prefer
different
inline stuff, but that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to screw with John. So, John,
Inline's too long.
no, that's man. But if they turn it the other direction, you've got some really cool design features when you do that. I mean, I'm not.
V's sound better. I'm going back to my Terex days, back when I had a Muzzy 999 in my Terex. Man,
You are
that,
dating yourself, John.
I am.
I've been trying to help you out the whole day talking about your 46-year-old self.
46.
Yeah, you got younger since we talked about it earlier.
All right, sweet.
His back hurts. He's not able to pick up tires. I'm just saying. Nothing to do with our testing, which we did a ton of today.
Yes, we did.
Actually, so after your King of Hammers trip with the car,
Yeah.
everything came here, and then we were able to throw our magic at the inside of the car, inside of the Shox and spring kit, and did some testing. We were inside of them a couple of times, and I think we're going to do maybe one more time, but we've got a ton of time in these on 4-seaters. We were just trying to verify our 2-seater. Steve, what do you got?
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but can you explain how IQS and Smart Shox differ, or how performance improves when both are installed?
One's smart, the other isn't.
Excellent.
Kinda
Nailed
like
it.
you two guys.
Duh.
Yeah, which one's the smart one?
Yeah, so of the two of you, which one's IQS and which one's Smart Shox?
Who's manual and who's...
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
I will take that really, really quick. Okay, so the difference is Smart Shox, multiple sensors, computer controlled, managing the system from compression and rebound on the fly on its own. You are able to turn the system up and down in stiffness from the dash, but the computer's controlling it as you're going. IQS, you can turn the stiffness up and down from the dash on the fly, but it is not using a computer-controlled sensor system to control the shock compression on the fly as you're driving. It will do what you ask it to on a switch. That's the difference between the two. And about 10 grand worth of parts. I'm not sure that you could ever convert a car that was not Smart Shox to a car that is Smart Shox without spending a lot of money.
Wow.
I mean, dynamics is, I mean, the racers have tried to do it. They spend well over 10 or 15,000 bucks doing it. So you need to buy one. If you are considering smart stuff, then you need to buy a car with it. Don't think that you're going to throw it on at it. IQS, though, you can throw IQS on anything that's got foxes. So there's your major differences. What do you got, Steve?
Well,
I mean,
got
tube socks.
I got two. One is a statement, one is a question. From Paul Bonanno. He said, installed your springs and took them out for the first time this weekend. Very nice improvement on the ride, and didn't even come close to bottoming out on the thing I normally would. Faster and smoother. That's awesome, buddy.
Thanks for the heads up, man. Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
And
Glad
then
you
Rich
like it.
Fortin, for both of you guys, where do you see suspension in 5 years?
Ooh, really good question.
This is the groundwork.
Yeah.
Sensors on every corner, measuring that kind of stuff. I see the algorithm inside it being smarter and smarter to be able to do even more cool things, and for you to be able, as a user, be able to tweak it so you can get exactly what you need by pushing things on the dash, and 2 people, 4 people, you know, wait in the back, not wait in the back. I'm at Johnson Valley and with these kind of whoops versus dunes with these types, getting more and more intelligent. That's my 2 cents.
I think I think you nailed it. I mean, the base is there. The sensors are there. The computer is there. The intelligence in the computer and code is just going to get smarter and faster. And I think that soon, in a few years, you'll have the ability to store your favorite settings for your favorite areas, and you could go back to those. That's where I think it will go. If the factory doesn't do it, then I guarantee you we will.
Yeah.
So it'll be out there somehow.
Yeah, and just during your race, I mean, you can be in different sections where you need different types of things. And if you could just push a button and say, all right, I'm in these types of whoops, or I'm in these kind of cross-grain G-outs, I'm in the rocks doing rock crawling, different settings, that's money.
So we actually do that in the race car now with IQS, but we only have, when I say only, it's actually a huge advantage, but 3 settings, you know, soft, medium, and firm. But according to the size of the whoops, we change it. According to the size of the jump or the G-out, we change it. If it's chopped in a washed out area and we don't want to feel it and get beat up, then we go soft. So we're already doing what John said, but what's going to happen, I think, is you're not going to have 3 adjustments. You're going to have your adjustment that you've saved. You're going to have, you know, 10 things that you've done in the past that you really like you can go to in a race and makes it faster, for sure. What do you got, Steve?
John, there's a specific question for you.
Oh, crap.
And it is, Can-Am put a Tesla screen in the 2022 Can-Am?
Sure.
And then, because they're saying they're running out of switches, man. They're running out of switch space.
Yes. I agree. So need more switch spaces.
So the answer to that was that can it be done? Yes. But you did not answer if Can-Am is doing it.
A Tesla screen.
Sure.
And it's going to be electric too.
The whole car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you
The
have
whole
it, you guys.
car?
There we go.
We got something out of him. There was a hint of sarcasm, but I think we got something out of him.
B. Gaisley has a good point here. Vision systems on Shox are going to be on the Shox are going to be able to see what's coming and will adjust accordingly. Maybe not in 5 years, but it will get there.
I'll touch base on that one. I didn't go as far as I would have liked to when we talked about Shox or suspension in the future, but I do think that you're going to have terrain following sensors. It's going to be a ways out. We actually experimented with infrared sensors about 8 years ago on big race car stuff, trucks and 1s and 10s, and we were doing it in partnership with King. The problem with it was that terrain following systems at the time are highly data heavy, and the computer systems were not fast enough to process it and actually do something with it. So that system actually got sold to the RV market because RVs are slow and lumbery, and the RV market was able to use that system or the initial parts of the system that were being worked on to sense things for body roll, and it was able to compute that and change it in the shock as you go. To be able to see a rock coming at 60 miles an hour and adjust the front and the back accordingly is going to require...
Or to miss the rock?
Or or steer for you. I mean, that stuff's
Mitch?
coming. It's just a long ways out, and right now I think you're going to have a 100-pound computer that would be the only way you're going to do it. But so there's that.
Moto he wants us to get some riding gear. I think we need to do a Shocky jersey, Justin.
Oh, he wants Shocky riding gear?
Yeah.
That's not half
Moto.
bad for all the motorcycle guys. We don't do motorcycles.
Vans?
A boy could dream.
Yeah, actually check out the new swag. You guys can't buy these yet, but we are considering having shoes on the side if you guys want to get some
And
of
some
those.
socks too, come on.
Yeah.
Trust me, we're on Steve for that.
They're
One of these
close.
Steves.
Close.
Yeah,
You know,
you need
hey,
some...
Hey, Matt, can we buy some...
They're super close.
Might need
Matt,
different
can we
models.
buy stiff socks from you?
Oh, yes.
We might have to get some. We're going to turn IQS Steve on it.
Very stiff.
Oh, he's IQS Steve?
Yep, IQS
I
Steve.
quit.
Smart guy, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Well, that means you're the smart
You
shot.
must be the
newer.
smart one, Steve.
I like IQS better, though. It's got a cooler sticker.
All right. Hey, John, is there anything coming out with Can-Am that you actually can talk about just a little bit? You know, maybe something that everybody else doesn't already know about or have heard about, but something you can talk about.
Would you like me to keep doing things with Can-Am?
You're saying your job might depend on what you say.
Well,
It doesn't mean we're not
kind
going to
of.
stop. We're not stopping when it comes to asking you
All
these
right,
questions.
keep
though.
asking.
All right.
Sorry.
Yes, Steve.
Max Russ 08 said, which Steve is the little spoon? My back can't arch that big, so that would therefore make him be the little spoon.
That's not right.
You know, that visual is wrong.
And yeah, I feel dirty after saying it.
That means you guys would both have stiff socks at the end of that night.
That is
The true answer was, who calls it?
Yeah. Top or bottom?
You always
Gentlemen?
got to call a big spoon.
This guy's for sure a power bottom. And I got the microphone, so he can't say anything.
Yeah, you've got the advantage. Have you guys got any more questions? Then shoot. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go back to testing.
Why
And,
does
we're going to throw a bunch of stuff on John's
Stiff
car.
Socks have gloves on? What's that all about?
Yeah, stiff socks. What's up with the gloves, bro? Is that for protection
I was just
or?
getting my inner Steve. He even wondered why I asked him for gloves earlier.
He asked me for gloves earlier. I was like, why is he asking for gloves? This guy doesn't work.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have one question here that the people are asking, and it keeps coming up. Nick T73. Are the smart shocks that are consistently having suspension fault errors a couple miles into driving, are we having smart shock errors, fault errors? Have you seen any of this, John?
I personally haven't, but I've heard of some calibration issues that dealers need to take the car in and recalibrate, but no personal experience with that.
You know, I haven't seen anything on any of the cars that we've done, any of the things that we've tuned. We've done quite a few smart shock cars already, but I do think there is one thing everybody needs to realize, that you can't unplug the shock with the key on, or have the shocks unplugged and then turn the key on. It's going to get the fault and you have to reset it. So we're just careful when we do all of our stuff that the key never gets touched while the shocks are unplugged. I wonder if that's a big portion of the rumor that you're talking about, because I have not seen anything on our end and we've seen a lot of these cars.
All right.
But Don, you got anything cool? Nope.
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah, he does. It's a helicopter over there. That's pretty dang cool.
Yeah. Why didn't you want to fly it?
Because I'm chicken. It has no wings. I can't glide to the ground. I mean,
Next time, tomorrow?
oh sure.
We'll do some
I'll
gliding.
get it right on it.
All right. So we will have a bunch of video of testing this car for you guys to see in the next few days after we're done. Tomorrow, when we get all the accessories on the car, like front rack, sway bars, other things, to try and bring this car into the tuned area that John likes to drive it, which is fast and aggressive, a lot of times through big stuff, I think.
But also slow and comfortable
Yeah.
sometimes when you're going on trail ride with a wife next to you.
Which is why you have a Smart Shox car.
There you go.
So we're going to get all these accessories on the car, and then we're going to go out and we're going to put it through its paces tomorrow and do some video. You guys aren't going to see that tomorrow. We'll edit it together and give it to you in about a week. But since you guys don't have any more super bitchin' questions, Steve?
I'll take it away. If you guys are looking to buy anything off the website, please visit shocktherapist.com or call into the shop at 623-217-4959.
And I'd like to thank John for stopping by and being a good sport, even though we knew that he couldn't answer any questions. See you guys on Thursday.
Keep them around, Can-Am.